Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm Danielle from Cageless Readings. Today's pick a card. We are going to be doing a body health check-in. I am keeping it quite short. I'm only pulling like a handful of cards, and we're just going to be looking for some confirmations or validations to get you some clarification on what's going on right now. We are doing 3 piles, and we are going to be using the same decks for all 3 piles, which is why I don't have any cards underneath them, because I wanted the ability for the same card, if it needed to come up in another pile. So that's just why I've done that. And then the top card, I really wanted to use the Isis Oracle card deck because I wanted like sort of an empowering statement about what is going on right now, like an empowering truth. So that's why I used her deck. And otherwise, I think I'm just gonna get right into it and letting you choose your piles. We are going to just quickly clear the energy, clear the room, clear yourself, clear the intention with my crystal pyramid that I've been using. If you haven't seen any of my newer videos, I do use sound to ground and clear. You can also just take a few deep breaths and center yourself in your body. Feel your feet on the floor, feel roots coming down through the bottoms of your feet all the way down to Mother Earth. There's quite a few ways people like to ground, so whichever way you like to do, you can do that now. Or you can also just listen to this crystal pyramid and hold the intention that you're letting go of anything that's not serving you and coming back to yourself. So I'm just going to play that now. All right, so if you haven't done a pick a card reading before, what we do is first we ground yourself, and then you look at the cards and you just ask if any of the cards here have a message for you. So it can be the number in the timestamp description that calls to you. It can just be the card is standing out to you. Really, there's no right or wrong reason for choosing it. You can even just use like a pendulum if you wanted to, and then just ask yourself a pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, and whichever one gives you a yes. You could be drawn to more than one pile, or you might not be drawn to any, and that's okay. It just might mean that a message for you isn't in this pile, but I'm sure if you go back and look up pick a card readings, you will find one with a message for you. So that all being said, pile 1 is going to be this card here. Has a man and then like a woman looking down at him from behind. And then it says healing the divine masculine. Pile 2, we have this card here. It's sort of, I think it might be Isis hanging on to a baby, and it's a statue of them both, and almost like a piece of amber or something above her head. And on the back of this card, it says rising sun. Sun like the sun in the sky. Pile 3, you have the column that has Egyptian hieroglyphs on it, I think is what you'd call it. And it says pillar of light. So this card has actually come up before for other piles. Pillar of light. All right, so I will see you all in your card readings now. Okay, hello, pile one. So you all chose this Healing the Divine Masculine card. So this is what I was saying. It's going to give me a lot of information about what's going on with you right now. And it says, the divine masculine within provides protection, discernment, healing, and a sense of deep safety and holding even through the most uncomfortable circumstances of life. Your inner masculine is going through healing right now, growing stronger in the ability to offer you inner protection and stability so that your inner feminine can blossom with creative expression. So this is really interesting because I've seen this energy come through in my other pick a card readings. Not in all the piles, but usually in most pick a cards, there'll be like one person in this energy in one of the piles. Whether it is a body reading or just what's going on with you right now, this kind of energies come through. And just in case you haven't seen it, I'll get you on the same page as me here. So it has been sort of a year or a season, I have noticed this year, for people who have been operating in their masculine. What does that mean to operate in your masculine? Some of you are asking. It means that instead of taking time, say if you're exhausted, you're absolutely exhausted, instead of taking the time to maybe reschedule something, to maybe not have overcrowded your schedule as much so that you could take time just to literally just sometimes. And I feel like this is becoming more and more popular in societies to say, sorry, I can't make it out tonight. Like I just need to go home and just like recenter myself. Like I just need to not need to be anywhere. I need to not emotionally be engaged with anything. I really just need like some true downtime, some true connection in myself time. That is becoming more popular. So the masculine energy is kind of that person or that side of us that is really good at getting things done, but it doesn't always honor the energy levels of the body, or if the person is even in alignment anymore with what they're doing. It's kind of like, I would say, like the checklist. And it's not the only aspect of the masculine, but when it's saying that the masculine is needing healing, it usually means that you've been in the go, go, go masculine of our society. And a lot of times they see people who push and push and push, who then have a physical ailment that comes forward. So it could look like adrenal fatigue is like a really common one, all sorts of digestive issues, autoimmune, like crazy, allergies are kind of tied into that. They're also tied in with each other. So I find most people will have multiple things there. They won't just have one, but they'll have many. Another thing is just like chronic exhaustion, which kind of goes in with adrenal fatigue, but it's just like, you doesn't matter how much you sleep, doesn't matter how much what you do, you're just so exhausted. And it's really like, if I were to show you like your battery percentage, it's like you went way past your battery being at 0% and you still kept pushing it on, like you were zombieing through things in life, or you're just always asking for a little bit more. And now it's like your battery has gone so far past 0 that it needs time to be able to retain a charge. So if you've ever had a car battery, I like using this analogy because most likely or not, if you've had a car, if you know someone who's had a car, the battery has died at some point, and maybe for a little bit you're trying to charge it up. You're plugging it in all the time when you're at someone's house. You try to keep, maybe you have like a battery charger and you keep trying to recharge it, but eventually you realize like that battery can only be pushed and stretched for so long before it is actually just truly not going to charge anymore. It's just dead. Um, that's kind of how I see this energy. So it doesn't mean that your energy never comes back. And actually, with the fact that it's saying it's healing, this is really what I want to emphasize. And sorry, I know sometimes when we're living in this, it can bring out our deepest fears. So you might just have heard me say that you're going to be exhausted forever. And I'm sorry, I did not mean for that to come off if you felt that way. I'm trying to just give the analogy that you need to honor your body now. Your body is so exhausted. Now it's not giving you any other choice than to listen to it because it is so exhausted. It can't keep pleasing you and pushing through. So it's very interesting. People pleasing tendencies also come a lot with this sort of issue because it's almost like your body is trying to people please you, but you're trying to people please either your coworkers, family members, the people around you, society pressures. It could not even be one specific person, but just feeling like society is demanding this of you. So it's almost like you can see on layers of like your body trying to do for you what you're trying to do for others, and then the guilt and the shame that your body feels for not being able to live up to your expectations of it. So it's really interesting. It's so much about your relationship with your body, and how you treat it. So I do want to be careful because a lot of times when I see this too, it does mean that people have gone through this stage for a while. You've probably been not fully yourself, low energy, exhausted, all these weird flare ups of these different autoimmune, fibromyalgia, maybe even chronic fatigue, arthritis, like anything that's related to the gut is for sure going to be affected. Why do I say that? Because I just feel like that there's no energy there, and then the gut starts to really struggle when there's not enough energy for it to operate with and sustain your immune system and all the other functions and take nutrition. Like it seems to be a really top one. I do feel like if you've chosen this pile, there's probably other odd things that you have. And maybe you don't even quite know what it is. Like maybe you've been jumping from doctor to doctor trying to figure out what's going on, and you haven't really found an answer. I feel like it would still make sense that you're here because I do just feel like there's such an exhaustion in the body that it can manifest in different random symptoms. But when you think about it, I think overall everyone who's chosen this pile is just truly tired, low energy a lot, or maybe you even get some like higher energies, but you can just drop in energy really quick. So you're good. And then say it's 2 p.m. one day, and then next thing you know, you need to go take a nap. Like you are just going to pass out. I feel like that's the energy that we would see here. But I want to be very clear, as I was saying, that this is telling me that you are healing through it. That your body, although it feels like for some of you it's been years, they just said maybe even decades for some of you, like your body is going to make it back. It is coming back. It might seem hopeless. It might seem like it's never going to work, but I feel like during this journey, you've gotten better and better and better at listening to your body and at realizing that what your body needs and what you need comes before societal pressures, societal expectations, other people's judgments. You come first and your body comes first. Because as your boundaries get better with this sort of outer pressure, I feel like your relationship with your body gets better. And I even feel like that, like it's so interesting to see, like when I see the wounded or the healing masculine energy in someone's body who's really tired and is like almost a bit sick, for lack of a better word, I usually feel like there is a direct correlation with how people and relationships are treating you and how that reflects your relationship with your body. Yeah, and it actually just makes me wonder. I'm sure some of you have already thought about this, but I had a friend do a presentation in front of a group talking about the 5 love languages, and then also about what was it? What is it actually called? Your attachment style. So if are you a secure attachment style, anxious attachment style? Are you I'm forgetting the other one, avoidant attachment style. And then there's one where it's basically like your anxious avoidant attachment. If you haven't heard about that, that could be interesting to look into. But I have a hunch that a lot of you've heard of it. If you're watching this video, I feel like you've probably done a lot of research and you've just like almost overloaded yourself with information. That's what I feel like. I feel like your heads hurt. Some people's heads just like ache because I feel like you're just always overthinking and trying to find a new solution, and you're trying just your hardest to cut out of this. But I feel like this is just a time thing. And when people say that, like it's a time thing, what does that really mean? I feel like it just needs consistency of you loving on your body and forgiving yourself for not being able to do the things you want to do or the expectations people have on you, forgiving yourself. Like, I feel like there's almost like a bit of harshness you still hold for yourself if you've chosen this pile. Like, I still feel like there's, how do I put it? Like, I almost feel like there's a bit of like abusive language that you can give to yourself. And it's feels a bit more subconscious. Like, oh, like, why can't you just have the energy today? Or why is like, it's almost like you speak as your body is separate from you. And I feel like there's still a little bit of healing to do there. I don't want you to hear that they're like, this is going to hold you back from ever getting better. I'm just saying, this is an energy that's coming up to bring into your awareness that sometimes you can be still very hard on yourself. And it just doesn't feel good in all this. I mean, there's already so much stuff that you're dealing with. Being harsh and cruel to your body, to yourself, is just not doing you any extra favors. I feel like you're suffering enough as it is. No need to throw more harsh words to yourself on the fire. So anyways, this is talking about, I can't even remember where I was going with it. So it's talking about with anxiety and like anxious attachment styles and secure attachment styles, is a lot of people look at their relationship attachment styles to other people in romantic relationships. But not a lot of people look at what their attachment style is with themselves. And it's kind of crazy because maybe you've gotten really good with your romantic partnerships or your friendships on how to treat people, but it's almost saying, now let's see, are you doing that with you? Like, are you validating yourself? Are you giving yourself love and support when you're down, when you need it? Are you sticking to things you've promised yourself? Are you showing up when you said you're going to show up for yourself? Are you honoring your energy and your time? Like, just kind of like that idea. And actually something that seems so obvious that maybe we should have thought of before, but also mind-blowing, because a lot of us in the context that type of attachment style was given to us was specifically for romantic partners. So most of us don't even think to check in and see, how are we with ourselves? Are we avoidant? Are we abusing ourselves? Are we a secure attachment with ourselves? And if you're a secure attachment with yourself, then I only feel like healing can come to you as you are giving yourself support and love and consistency. And the biggest thing I get from this is you're telling yourself it's safe. You're safe. You're safe in your body. You're safe in relationship with your body. You are not going to abuse your body. You are not going to put unachievable expectations on yourself. You are going to just love yourself and be grateful for the experiences you have with it. And I understand how this is going to be really hard for some of you to hear, but it's just, and I even feel like some of you probably have done Reiki courses or done, maybe you're card readers or you work with energy in some way. And the more you do it on other people, the more and more you really start to understand these types of lessons. Like when I say, like, I can see the harm that holding like a grudge on yourself, like, what do I mean by that? Like making yourself feel guilty or shameful. So like your body, you feel like, is so mad at itself and it feels so shameful for not meeting your expectations of it. And it is a mirror, like I was saying earlier, it is a mirror of how you feel when you can't make it to an event now, or you can't be there for a friend. It's almost like you were feeling bad and then you were putting, like, it's so interesting, like, to see that, but it's so normal. Like, it's like, it seems like the human disease, I say, is actually just beating ourselves up and worrying about not being loved enough, not being good enough. Like, I feel like that is the human disease. We all got it from somewhere. I don't know where we got it from, and it's all so untrue. Like, it's so untrue. Like, I don't know. It just, the more I see it in every person, the more I realize it's something that we really need to work on as a collective. And it starts with things like not doing it to ourselves, or learning not to do it to ourselves, right? Because it's a relationship, and that can sometimes just take more work than we realize. So yeah, I do want to talk about how it says feminine can blossom with creative expression. So this is really talking about, and it does make sense, with stepping out of that masculine of doing, forcing, pushing, trying to be everywhere, trying to do everything, and just doing it to you literally break down, and bring in that feminine energy that I find is more like leading from your heart, leading from your joy. That's like my best way to explain it at this point in time, where you put your hand on your heart and you just ask, like, what does my body want from me today? What does my body need from me today? And I think what's struggling with, or what people struggle with, is that they're like, well, I am doing that, but I'm still not better. But it's like a consistency thing. If you are doing that, then just know that you are doing everything you can right now. And you just need consistency, and you just need sleep. I feel like that just came in, sleep. And I feel like kind words to yourself. And I know this is so tricky, because I feel like everyone's like, what? This is not going to cure this thing that I have. And all this stuff. I just feel like all this, like, just frustrations. And I understand that it must be so frustrating for you, but I don't know how to explain it. I just feel like this is what's coming through, and it's saying, like, this will change your quality of life. Like, this is what's gonna change, and you are changing it. So I'm not telling you stuff that you have never thought of. I really feel like everything that's coming through is stuff that you've thought about, like, on and off, maybe sometimes get a little bit forgotten, just because, like, when we're going through hard body stuff, it's just so easy to feel ungrounded, to be disconnected, because we don't want to be grounded in our bodies if we don't feel safe there, if we don't feel happy there, if we feel like things aren't working. And it's just really hard. So that's just why I feel like repetition comes up a lot. And I know it can be frustrating when you sometimes feel like you're not getting a different answer. But I really feel like they're saying, like, you are healing. Know you're healing and you are shifting. And it's really like you are shifting from being in this very, very I'm going to get everything done, like, very masculine energy, to a place of balance. So it doesn't mean you're never going to get things done. I really feel like you're going to allow yourself to have some energy boundaries with yourself and others. You're going to allow yourself to just take time to just sleep, to do something that brings you joy. At first, it is going to be a lot of sleeping. I know that can be frustrating, especially if it's coming from this group of people. Like, you got here from being, like, overachievers, like, really go-getters, people who wanted to work until you burnt out. Like, it's hard. It is probably the hardest group of people to be telling that you're going to just have to sleep. But eventually, once you catch up, I feel like then there'll just be moments of just joy, where you're doing things and it just brings in joy and rest and fulfillment. And you will be filling your cup through different activities. And I just feel like the difference is you're going to be doing things more from that heart energy of, like, what fills you, versus, like, this energy of, I feel like you've come from a place of so much expectations on you. And I think you're getting out of that. And I think, as hard as these physical challenges and lack of energy things are, there is this really big lesson on realizing, like, it's almost like it forced you to have to say no to things. And I don't know if you'd ever really felt comfortable doing that. And I feel like you still don't. Don't get me wrong, you still don't. But it's like, I keep seeing from, like, your guides are saying, is that you had to say no. Your body stood up for itself because it had nothing left in it. And now it's taught you that it's okay to say no. And once it comes back into balance, it won't feel so bad. It won't feel so bad to always not have energy for things. It won't feel bad to always have to be the one who sits out, because I don't think you will be sitting out that much in the future. And I also feel like you're gonna find people who are a little more on your vibe, where they're like, oh, I'd love to do that because it sounds fulfilling. Like, I don't know, like maybe you're gonna find, I'm just thinking random groups, like maybe a meditation group where you're hanging out with people and connecting with them heart to heart, but also filling your cup and filling your energy. Like, that's just a random example. Maybe it's cooking or gardening that also does that for you. Or some of you, it's just like hobby stuff. You just want someone to do hobby stuff with you that fills you and you still have connection there. So yeah, don't have to say you're all doing that, but I just feel like that comes through for some of you. Okay, so let's finally look at some other cards here. And let's see here. So we have prosperity and magic. So that's really awesome. So this actually to me gives me the impression that this pile here already believes that miracles can happen. That like, how would I put it? That things are going to work out for you and the universe is working for you. So I believe you already do believe that, say, like, if you ask for healing, you will get it. And I feel like this is something where you've worked on this. Like, I feel like you were in this place and then maybe you hit like a rock bottom for hope and now you've come back up. So I really feel like this is energy that's coming through right now. Prosperity. The frequency of prosperity supports our feeling of well-being by allowing in the inclusions of everything that makes our body, mind, heart, and soul a spirit sing. It invites us to express ourselves in joy and celebrate of abundance and riches that the universe provides. So this is really awesome. Like, this is great cards to come through. It's saying like you are, once again, like it's saying you are healing. You are healing right now. Despite what it looks like to you, you are healing. You are coming out of these circumstances that have been very uncomfortable, that have pushed you to set boundaries with people you never thought, to break down walls that maybe, I think that's actually another thing I didn't really pick up on till right now. You think some of you didn't let people in. Like, you were very much in the masculine. You did not open up to other people. And maybe now you're in a place where you had to ask for like physical help from people. You had to ask for help. You had to let people help you. And that was even like a really big lesson to you. And I feel like the ultimate thing is it just lets you have these connections with other people that maybe you didn't quite have to a level you wanted before. And these ones I actually wanted to leave upside down. I'll turn them right side around so I can read them better. But it has synergy and sacral chakra. So I kind of see this as, this is what you have going on and this is what's going to come in, but there hasn't, like, you haven't quite stepped into it yet, is a good way to say it. But it's like in your energy, it's in your aura field, like it's coming in. So synergy, I see this as sort of synchronicities. It says on this card supports our allowance and acceptance of not so obvious, never seen before combinations and unions that result in new ways of functioning, working, thinking, relating, loving, and being. It reminds us to embrace the unfamiliar so that the new yet exciting co-creations can give birth to a new reality. So I actually really like this. So it's almost like getting out of your own way and releasing any control on what you think it should look like to be healed, to be normal again. And it almost tells me too, like, for some of you, I think you've been working so hard on getting back to how you used to be, especially those who this was like years ago, like decades ago. I feel like you're just like, I want to be like that again. But this card almost tells me like, you know what? You're just such a different person now. Like, I even feel like the wisdom you carry, like you don't want to release that to go back to what you were. There is a reason why this, like, you got sick. You got this ailment. It's something wasn't working. You weren't as happy as I think as you were remembering. Like, your physical body and how it operates, I think that is maybe what you're wanting to go back to. But don't forget that there are some things that weren't serving you, and that's what led you to here today. So it's almost like, I don't know, maybe some of you just needed to hear that. Like, there is so much, I just feel like so much lessons and growth that you have truly, truly benefited from in these experiences. So it's just saying, don't hang on to control. Let that magic happen. I know you believe in it. I know you believe things are working out for you and that miracles are the normal. So just maybe there's a part of you that needs to just hear this and remember that. And then the sacral chakra, this is all about coming at it with joy. So this is really awesome card because prosperity talks about allowing in joy, and then magic also talks about joy. And I feel like it's truly like the best place to create and draw in things that you want that are positive, that are more loving, that are more higher vibrational. Because when we're just in joy, when we're laughing, when we're having fun, when we're feeling love, we really are like so present to feel that, and we are creating more of it. So I often hear from my guides that if someone is suffering from anything, they're like, joy, bring in more joy, especially someone's suffering from anxiety, from like feeling not safe, like find moments to laugh and to experience joy. It's the hardest thing when you're feeling low, but when you experience it, it actually makes the greatest shifts. It's such a high vibration, it's such a high frequency. It even makes your body feel lighter and healthier and happier. It's like such a power. I think you might have heard this, like I hear old folks say this all the time in like retirement homes. They say, like there's nothing like a kid smiling, or the energy of a kid who's just having fun and playing. Like there's some sort of phrasing around that. They're so big on how healing it is to see kids there just having fun and smiling and laughing. It is so, so healing for them to just even see it secondary and even see them mirroring those smiles by smiling themselves. So it's so powerful. It's so, so powerful to experience laughter and joy and happiness. It gets us out of lots of heavy energies. And I'm just looking at the time here. Apologies. I really thought these were going to be like 10-minute long readings. So this one's gone quite over time for you. I did want to just pull some cards on like whatever came up in these, like how can you like support that or bring that in. So we have emotional healing, let go, and perfect timing. So I always like it when they are kind of confirming what we've just been talking about. Letting go, I think that comes with the synergy card, where it's talking about letting go of how you are going to get out of this. Like, what does that mean? Letting go of what you think should happen. And instead, I feel like just focusing. I know people hear this all the time, and until you experience it, it is a very frustrating thing to hear. I can say that from my personal experience. When people are just like, like you were calling in abundance, like, don't hang on to the outcome, don't hang on to expectation, just put it out there that you want it and then let it go. And it's always like, well, what the heck does that mean? But it's almost like trusting. I feel like people don't talk enough about the trust. Letting go because you trust and you truly know that magic is real, that prosperity is your birthright, and abundance is your birthright, and healing, miraculous healing, is the norm. Letting go of how that will happen, where it will come from, letting go of all the W's, the what, where, when, what, why, how, and just saying I am going to heal. The universe is going to give me a miracle. Like whatever the language is, just do like the I statement and then let it go. Let it go. Don't let any doubts come in. If doubts come in, just take them back. That's the beauty of this, is you can always say, I'm sorry, I trust and know, and then say another affirming statement. It seems so frustrating, but when you do it with smaller things, it's why people always recommend it, because you don't have as much emotional baggage attached, like emotional hope, I guess. Like, for example, if you're just like, I want a parking spot to be open, it's so much easier to ask for a parking spot because you're not putting a lot of pressure on what your life will look like if you don't get that parking spot, right? Like it's pretty low. It's like, all right, I'll just have to walk a little bit further. Like it's just not a very big deal. But when you're asking for like a miracle for your health, a lot of times then we're like, well, what if I don't get it? What if it's not real? What if all this is fake? What if I'm wrong? What if I, like there's just so much else to go on with. So the more kind of just trust and practice you grow, the easier it becomes. So maybe try with smaller things, like getting a visit from a friend that you've been wanting to see, Or if you need a parking spot, try a parking spot. You know, like things that you have low stock in the game. And then as that keeps happening, just trust and know that miracles are the normal. And the only thing that changes is your doubt of it, your fear of it not coming in. So once again, I just want to be clear, this doesn't mean that you're never going to heal, you're never going to get something. You are healing. You're doing so much healing right now, emotional healing. As your heart heals of old emotional pain, you receive new blessings and love. It's just like how I would see it is like, if you can learn that the world's always working for you, great things can happen to you more often. That's how I'll put it. Like, it doesn't mean great things will never happen or anything like that. I want to be very clear, because I feel like sometimes that is what people perceive from this, and I can see why you're perceiving it. Like, fear comes up and gets scared. But no, it's just like, just the more awesome things can happen, the more you learn the truth that the universe is always working for you. So if you have a fear, sometimes it thinks that the fear is what you want, not the good thing. But that's the beauty of, you can just correct it. You can just say, I'm sorry, that was a false statement, that was a false truth, that was a fear of mine, and I'm releasing it. I know that I know I was going to try to work the word magic in, that the natural frequency of magic is in my life. Like, whatever it is, like, you find that power statement and you just know it's true. And I'm so sorry. I can feel people like so confused and frustrated on the other side of this. And I so understand. I think that's the trickiest part, is having been in similar places and having that same frustration and having people say this to me and just being like, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. But I mean, just maybe have courage if you don't get it. Like, you will at some point. You'll just keep hearing people say it, and you'll experience things in your life to the point where eventually it just clicks and you really feel it and know it. It's not just words people saying to you all the time. It's not about like patience. Patience is one that I feel like people get all the time. It's not because they're trying to teach you to wait for things. I actually often feel like it's saying like, you are emotionally working through belief systems. And once that works itself out, it will come in. So then they say like patience, because you are working on it. It's just going to take a sec, and then the stuff will come in. So I don't know, like, to my perspective, like, the patience thing just means that your body's digesting a subject before, or a concept or a limiting belief before it's ready. I actually don't really believe that patience is something we need to learn, which is very controversial. I feel like it's just, to me, a validation that there's just things are working itself through. So I actually see it more as a positive message than I did at the start, because I'd always get the patience card, like, patience, things will get better, patience, things will heal, patience this. But yeah, now I feel like I understand what's actually going on. That gives me more encouragement, because then I know things are changing. Where before I was like, it doesn't feel like anything's changing. People are just saying patience. So maybe you're not like me, and maybe you're fine with that word, but I really hated it back then. Let go. So yeah, we just talked about that emotional healing. Like, just really, if you're going to take anything from this card reading, know that you are healing. You are healing. Your body's healing. Emotional patterns are healing. Emotional, what am I trying to say here? Blocks. I feel like there's emotional blocks like you had before. They're all healing. You are just changing so much as a person, just being who you are, that things are just shifting and constantly healing. Just know that your body is healing. You're not getting worse, you're getting better. Things are getting better and better and better for you. Perfect timing. This is the right time for you to move forward. So I really like this. I don't know. I really like the perfect timing coming up with the magic, because to me, I don't know quite why these two feel so connected. Maybe even the colors look similar to me, but I feel like it's just saying like, whatever you guys have been working on and processing, and I know, like, I'm just going to keep reiterating, I know you guys have done everything in this pile. I don't know if people tell you that enough. You have done everything. I see that. I know your personality type from the energy that's coming forward. You've done so much. And I feel like it's just saying, let go of the control and just let the magic happen. Now is the perfect time for you. Whatever you were hoping for, I feel like it's coming in. When, like, with you having the belief that all this, like, miracles are the normal, that like good health can happen, that things can just disappear like that. I feel like you're like set up for success right now. I don't know. You know more about your situation. This is a general card reading, so the trickiness is like I can only go so deep with each card because I get almost like a block from my guides. They're like, no, this doesn't apply to everybody. So there's almost like a white filter that comes up as soon as I try to lean too much into something too specific. So you know your circumstance, so please take, like, I feel like this is one of those moments where I'm being a little bit blocked because it's different for people here, but these two cards, if this answers a question you had when you came to this channel, you take this with your intuition and your deep knowing about what's going on with yourself and your situation. Take this as an answer because, like I said, I can't see the exact meaning for each one of you, but I know this is answering a lot of your questions. Magic and perfect timing. Yeah, the right time to move forward is now. Magic supports are in. Sorry, let me read this just before we go here. The frequency of magic supports our intrinsic ability to grow and expand beyond this moment, to move towards possibilities and expressions that are as grand and profound as we can imagine. All that is required is our belief in their manifestation. So I'm just going to kind of leave that there. Before you go, if you want to receive it, I am just going to play the crystal pyramid to just cleanse any energy that might have come through that's ready to release. Ground yourselves back if you felt a little ungrounded. And then also, I just wanted to talk about, if you've heard me mention in other channels, mandalas, like these little frequency things here, are theorized, we'll say. I think it might even be proven now, but I don't want to say that because I don't actually know for sure. But if you've ever seen people like play sound or a note on some sand or water and seen the shape it makes, that's the idea behind mandalas, is that they're like a screenshot, a quick screenshot of what's going on in that frequency. So the frequency of magic, in theory, would look like this in water or on sand. And same thing with the sacral chakra, the synergy, the prosperity, at least by the definition of this card deck author. But I just love that because I really like looking at these symbols. And now that I work with sound so much that I just tried to really take that in. So anyways, I'm going to play my pyramid. And I really just hope that you got some sort of clarification, validation, or something from this. Often, honestly, on YouTube, I feel like I am just rambling and hoping it makes sense. As there's just so many of you and I can't directly speak to you in the moment. So I often just am like, okay, I hope that I answered all your questions, and I hope that I clarified things so that you know that overall this is actually a really good sign. I know sometimes you can worry that it means nothing is changing, but I get so many confirmations that it is, and that you believe in the magic, and basically prosperity and abundance are coming in for you, and that healing is happening. And just the next step here, I feel like, was letting go of what it looks like and how it's going to come. Sorry, not what it looks like, but it's more that energy around feeling like it should look like how you were before all this, because you are so much more evolved and you've grown so much. So it is going to look different. I think it's going to be better. And then the sacral chakra is just remember to be more in joy, and that will keep you out of the fear vibration, the lower vibrations of doubt and second guessing your beliefs and all that. Finding joy and laughter and smiling, that will really help you. I almost say distracted, for lack of better words, but in a higher frequency where you'll trust in this, where you really enjoy, feel the magic and the possibilities. So I'm just going to play this just to release anything that needs to be released, and put you all back grounded and centered. Okay, here we go. All right, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and maybe I'll catch you in another video. Hello, pile 2. So you all chose this card here that says Rising Sun. And it's interesting because just as I was pulling some cards for you all from the so sorry, my mind's blanking on this. What is this deck called? Sacred Geometry deck and the Magic of the Fairies deck. I was getting the impression that there's just a lot of mental energy that has been going on for this pile. And it makes me wonder if you're inquiring more about mental health and maybe emotional health over physical health, which is totally cool. You can inquire about either one. But it's just the impressions I was getting as I was tuning into your energy here. So let's see. And also the amber. You know what? I quickly feel like we should actually just Google, or I can Google for all of you. So then we can just all have the answer. What amber does. Amber benefits. Okay, so what I got just as the first result is amber is said to absorb pain and negative energy, helping to alleviate stress. Amber is believed to clear depression, stimulate the intellect, and promote self-confidence and creative self-expression. So that is interesting. It just also helps with improving memory, increasing mental flexibility, and create balanced decision making. So that's really interesting because I do feel like there's just so much head stuff coming through. Just maybe even being like overworked, over busy, lots of responsibility, trying to stay organized mentally, like just a lot of that stuff going on for you. And either it's gone on for years, or you're just getting into it. Also, some of you maybe just also got this. Some of you maybe are struggling with brain health, like maybe Alzheimer's or dementia. I'm not sure if you actually have it or if you're just worried about it. So there's something going on there too. So we have sort of the theme of this reading is what I chose this card for. And it says, a dark phase and struggle is over. A new phase is upon you, one of hope, glory, light, and triumph. It is won through boldness and persistence. You have been through much, and now victory is upon you, beloved. For the divine solar child, a new consciousness within you is born. So that's actually a very positive message, if you didn't quite catch that. Talking about us, like it says, I'm just going to re-say this in case some of you tuned out by accident. It says, a dark phase and a struggle is over, and a new phase is coming in, one full of light, triumph, glory, and hope. That is pretty great. I don't know what else you can really ask for than knowing that your current struggles or your past struggles are coming to an end or have ended, and you don't need to worry about them coming back because now things are just going to keep getting better. So to me, that's a very positive message. Also, I just wanted to say I was just pulling cards and I felt like I should pull the top card, and it said Soul Time, which is really neat. To me, it really just talks about kind of going into a time where you're getting to know your higher self is actually the words I want to say. I don't think it's so much your body, but I really do feel like it's like meditation, time alone, connecting with your higher self, connecting with your heart energy, but definitely those two. Your inner higher wisdom, that kind of, you know what are you getting what I'm putting down? That's what I'm feeling like you're connecting to. Lots of meditation, lots of sort of practices. It could be yoga practices. It could be setting sacred space practices. It could be affirmations, guided meditations. I just feel a really, really big call to that for you right now, or that you're being very called to that. So these cards I all did pull for what kind of things are happening. What is your energy right now? So we have integration, which is really neat. Definitely comes through when you're going through shifts. It usually just means like you need time to kind of digest what you've been going through, what has happened, and you just need some time to just really come back and feel centered in yourself, and process what has happened. So I do feel like there's some sort of event that did happen that you guys are coming out of. Some of you even might have been in the hospital for something for a little bit. And I think you've come back out now, like maybe fairly recently. And this is sort of why the soul time and integration is coming through for those of you who can relate to that. Alchemy is a really cool card to see because it means that you are changing, transitioning, transmuting. So this is like a really powerful card. I'll read it for you. It says, the frequency of alchemy activates our magical ability and remembrance of the magic that we have, that we all hold inside. Each one of us has the potential to access the ancient knowledge that allows the true alchemist to perform the miracles of transmutation. Really neat. And remembrance and perception, so much going on. This definitely is like a lot of mental load kind of energy here, and so much, like I was saying, about connecting with your higher self. So just trying to see what's going on here. I don't know, maybe for some of you, you almost lost your connection with sort of the spiritual realm, your higher self, and you're trying to come back into that energy or something of the such. Okay, sorry about that. I just had someone come to the door quick and give me a delivery. So I totally lost train of thought about what I was just talking about. That happens all the time. So I'll just randomly start again. Let's see. I know I was talking about integration and alchemy and soul time. So perception. This one is really catching my eye right now. It says the frequency of perception supports our natural curiosity, moving us beyond our comfort zone to find the edges of what we perceive as real and to take a deep, good, hard look. Interesting. And then also the frequency of remembrance supports our memory of everything that we have gone through as a soul and body, providing us with valuable information and tools to flow gracefully with and in this life. It's interesting. I do just keep getting for this pile that for you, I think there's something that has inspired you or pushed you to really connect with your old soul wisdom, your wisdom of this lifetime, but also like to connect with your old soul wisdom. What does that mean? I think you're trying to do more meditations and be more connected with yourself to gain wisdom on a bigger picture, on a bigger thing happening in the world. Yeah, I feel like you're trying to remember ancient wisdom or something like that. I'm not totally sure why all of a sudden you were inspired by it. I do think there's something to do with your mental health and that all working together somehow. But I just can't quite put my finger on it for you all. It's very interesting. And it's also just something like personally I find just interesting to do as well, to do meditations where I just connect over like a topic. Like, for example, let's say I want to know more about the root chakra. I'll do a meditation asking questions about the root chakra, and I'll just let whatever answers come through. I feel like that's kind of what you're doing, but with your higher self, like asking for knowledge and remembrance. I feel like this pile would really love listening to Dolores Canyon if you haven't before. Maybe Lee Harris you would like to listen to. I feel like you'd be into channelers or people who are also bringing in information. I don't know why, I just get that. I feel like you're just really hungry for answers. Like, I feel like something happened that just really triggered this pile to be like, well, what is past all this? What is beyond all this? Like, I don't know. I almost feel like you're trying to get a grasp on reality, but in a different way than most people would. Like, just trying to understand why are we really here? What's really going on? But I just feel like you're really going to find those answers through connecting with your higher self and doing that with the intention of it all being in your highest good in love and light. But yeah, just the soul time is just really important, I think, for this pile. Embracing the concepts that while the corporal body is mortal, the soul is timeless, limitless, and infinite. Yeah, man, I don't know. I would so love to hear what you guys have been through. I feel like just there's such deep mystery around this pile for me. Like I feel like this deep hunger within your minds for like knowledge and clarity around something, which is why I think you're so currently motivated to do all this deeper work, looking in deeper. And yeah, I'm also so thrown off about why the divine masculine card's coming through. It says it supports our strong, focused, and active side, allowing it to express itself while helping us to bring our dreams, ideas into form with kindness and wisdom. Okay, interesting. So it does talk about focusing in. Um, so maybe that even does make sense just with like the energy that you're in. I think you're really in, you're funny enough, really in the masculine energy while also being in meditation. So it actually is kind of a neat energy and harmony to be in. Like it's, I don't feel like I see this very often. I feel like you're really going in to find a certain thing. Like you feel so focused on a specific information you want in. So maybe you're even doing a channeled book yourself. I don't know. I don't actually quite get that, but I get that you're actually doing this for your own clarity, for your own understanding and knowing. It's almost like you want to remember the secrets of the universe. That's almost what I would say. Or you want to remember the true origins of the world, of the soul. Like it just is so profound. And I wonder if this is even why you've like maybe struggled in the past with like grasping reality. Like I wonder if you guys have struggled with um like balancing. I almost want to say like which realm, which dimension are you living in. Like I wonder if maybe you struggled with being here in the 3D realm, um like grounded in it. It's almost like I would say maybe some of you struggled with insanity or sanity, and what is that? What is the difference between sanity and insanity, and whose perception of sanity is real? Like I feel like this is the kind of thing that I think you've really gotten hung up on in the past. Just from what I'm seeing, but I guess you know more about it. You know more about what's going on. So let's see here what we have for guidance cards on how to help you, or how to support your energy right now. We had everything's okay. Don't worry, it's all working out in a beautiful way. So I actually really feel this linked to the soul time card. Admit your true feelings to yourself. Be honest with yourself. Only you know what is that you truly desire. Also feel very linked to the soul time card. They actually all feel very linked to the soul time card. So this one says flower power. Spend time with flowers and flower essences to increase your personal healing power. And love life. The basis of your question involves your romantic life, which is now changing for the better. It is so interesting. This is such a mystery pile to me. It's almost like I can't quite read you, which makes me wonder like if you're like are bouncing around in different realities and timelines. Because sometimes it's hard to read someone who's constantly changing realities, for lack of a better word, which timeline they're in, which world they're living in. It's almost like you're always changing your possible truth or your possible reality. I don't know if that makes sense. It kind of makes sense. It's actually like, whew, I don't know. I think I'm also kind of feeling how this pile is feeling. Like I feel a little confused and uncertain and like a little like just not understanding things and wanting answers. And I feel like that's just how this pile is feeling. Yeah. So I'm trying to see. I don't know if I'm giving you any more answers than you came here for. So I feel a little stuck on that, but I'm really having a hard time reading this. Definitely do just everything I'm seeing here for advice cards. So one is saying it's okay, you're safe, you're protected. Don't worry, everything's going to work itself out. Everything's okay. And then here it's saying be real and truthful with yourself. If you don't have maybe support system at this point in time or other people that you feel comfortable reaching out to, or at least be truthful with yourself. Be real with yourself. That it feels like a very strong message, and it all is talking about connecting within. So there's just so much push. I think you're already doing this because it did come up about just connecting with your higher self. I really feel like that's the important one, your higher self or your heart center. And it says the frequency of soul time asks us to allow the possibility of a new reality to emerge, one that embraces the concept that while in the corporal body is mortal, the soul is timeless, limitless, and infinite. Yeah, I feel like you're searching for some deep, deep wisdom, deep, deep, deep wisdom. And I feel like this is just such your focus right now. And I just keep saying everything's okay. Be truthful with yourself. Be honest with yourself. Do not avoid things within yourself. And then the flower power, these using essences of flowers. You know what? I almost wonder if this is coming up for a suggestion for you for grounding yourself. Like maybe if you're doing a lot of meditation work, maybe you're having a hard time kind of coming back to the regular world. Maybe it would be nice if there's a certain essential oil that grounds you to just literally sniff that, to like have it under and put it under your nose, and then maybe even carry something with you in your pocket so that if you're having a hard time feeling like present and grounded in reality, you can like take it out of your pocket and smell it. And I feel like the smell is just going to zoom you right back into your body right now in the present. And I feel like it's going to change for each one of you, but there's probably essential oil that you're really drawn to. And I would just go with that one. Maybe you can even like do a little searching on if there's ones that help with grounding or being more present, or making you feel connected in your body, any of those kind of things. But I do think they're going to be, yeah, maybe on a roller, like a essential oil roller or something like that. Okay, so love life. This is interesting. I actually think it's talking a little bit about your own relationship with yourself, but yeah, the basis of your question involves your romantic life, which is now changing for the better. So I almost wonder if some of you got out of like a really manipulating relationship or a toxic relationship where you didn't even know who you were anymore. There could be a little bit of that energy. Some of it could just be wanting something different, wanting a more spiritual person, wanting someone like I almost get like maybe the person you were with was okay with living a very mundane life, for lack of better words, and you are wanting something different. I get a little bit of that energy, so you just kind of trust that, you know, what you feel is true. Whatever you're getting from this card, take that over what I'm saying. I am, like I said, I'm having a bit of a hard time putting my finger on you. But I do think it's just because you feel so much confusion right now, and I'm really just also feeling all your confusion, which isn't helping. So, that all being said, let's clear your energy here before I let you go, just to leave you feeling maybe a little more grounded, centered, clear. And I hope this helps you in some way, but yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm just really feeling your confusion as well. Okay, so let's just set the intention of releasing some of that and getting a little more grounded. All right, I'll just let this play a little bit longer. The other thing I'm seeing here is there is a lot of heart healing going on. in these cards. So much healing on the heart, and I do feel like a lot of it is from past energy, so healing from previous trauma, previous belief systems, previous relationships, and the way people have treated you in your life. I'm not just talking about romantic. There just seems to be a lot of healing, and I really do feel like this confusion about what does it mean to be in this world, and what is the whole purpose of being here, and all this stuff is like, why do we exist? I just feel like there's so much profound questions coming through from you, and I feel like it's all stemming from this healing you're going through around this. And I feel like the only thing I can see is if you can stay both with your crown chakra open but your feet rooted. That will help you get through this, and listening to your heart. And then everything else will get balanced from there. If your solar feels out of balance, if your throat feels out of balance, as long as you are constantly trying to remind yourself you're safe, you're protected, everything's okay, you can stay grounded in your body, you're good to receive guidance and inspiration through your crown and follow your heart and what it's telling you to do, you'll get there, you'll work through this, and your answers will come to you that you've been seeking. So I wish you the best here. Yeah, I just wish you the best. And I know you're going to get through it. There's just soul time. You're in a time of great introspection and reflection, integration. And I think you're going to come through this faster than you're thinking you are. And you're going to just have a whole new take on life. I feel like your energy is not going to be anything like it is right now. You're all going to be very different people after this time. So it's very interesting. You just take the time you need and honor that. And don't be in any hurry. You're going to be okay. Hello. Okay, your pile looks a little messy right now. So I just pulled some cards for you. And if you're here, it's because you chose the Pillar of Light card. One I was saying at the start, I have seen come through quite a bit on this channel for the piles, so that's interesting. So the back of it says, Pillar of Light, burning bright, Earth star below, soul star above. Burn away all that is not light. Transform all into unconditional love. Star of Isis descend. Your blessings and peace without end. Grace me now with peace and protection, completely embraced by divine protection. Apparently I can't pronounce rhymes very good today. So that is interesting. I almost feel like it's like a little prayer. So the first card, where I don't really know what's going on for your check-in with your health, but I'll look at your other cards to kind of get an idea. Ooh, I already like that there is like, I don't know if you can really tell, but like the colors of the cards here kind of match this stone, this malachite stone, which is all about change and healing, and I like to associate it with the heart, but I know other people just associate it with change and transformation in general. And then this amethyst, and you kind of just, funny enough, chose, or got, I should say, cards that match the crystals on this side really well with colors. So it says new career, travel, express your individuality, which is really neat for, like, we're just saying, this crystal talks a little about transformation, changes. So changing in career, changing in travel, changing types of travel, I even think, which is really interesting. When I see this travel card, I wonder if you're in some sort of business where you takes groups, I don't know what's happening with my language in this pile. I'm so sorry. I'm not saying my words correctly, and I'm skipping over words kind of strangely. Maybe you have a tendency to do that. I'm not sure, but okay, I'm trying to speak clearer, slow down so that I can communicate more effectively with you all. The thing I was about to say about the travel card is I have the impression that you take groups, traveling somewhere. So it could be maybe you're doing like meditation groups where you walk into a forest and you do a guided meditation for them, or you do yoga in like the nature somewhere, the mountains, the trees, the forests, but on the beach side. I don't know where exactly. Or you could be someone who literally does traveling retreats for people, like meditation retreats, ayahuasca retreats, yoga retreats, breath work. Definitely some of you are really into the breath work, in combination with other things. No, I don't actually think any of you are doing sound specific retreats, but I do feel a lot for the breath work and for journeying kind of retreats. But I think you take people out of country into a different place, and I think you do decent sized groups from what I can see here. You think that you are doing groups of like, I would say anywhere from like 10 to 20 people at a time, maybe more than that, but I feel like you're kind of still starting, like that's actually a pretty decent size for traveling groups. But I think you're still starting small compared to others where maybe they're doing like groups of 100 people at different times. I think you're kind of more in the 10 to 20 range, maybe closer to 20. And that's really neat because I wonder why it's coming up for new career. And I really feel like it's like shining your light brighter, bring healing to the chaos around you. That is super cool. You seem like a super cool pile, by the way. And I wonder if you are the pillar of light. You are like channeling in light right now to others to help them get through their wounding and their challenges. And I love that express your individuality. It just confirms that you just keep being you, and your differentness is what makes you a hit, what makes you awesome, what makes you so proficient in whatever kind of work you're doing. I just get that. I feel like you are just glowing and you are just doing amazing at whatever you are doing, and it's really cool stuff. Like, super cool. I'm just like, this kind of stuff that I would love to go to myself, and I feel like there's so many people who are like me who would love to go on trips like this, and I think you're just doing that, or you're about to, but no, I don't get that. I think you are doing it. You might be changing. Maybe you used to do it as a home base and now you're going to do it around the world, or maybe you were doing it all over the place, but now you have a facility that you're permanently renting to, or building, you're leasing or something in another country, and that's going to be your more home ground. I feel like you're getting more settled in whatever kind of work you're doing, where it's going to be more consistent. So interesting. We have remembrance, empowerment, and we have coherence and universal love. I love how your cards like have like a matching theme. Like these two match, they came out together. I just think that's super cool. These ones were matching. Super, super cool. Okay, sorry about that. Brief interruption. My battery just had to get changed for this card reading. I forgot how often my camera battery dies when I'm doing these. Yeah, it's just funny. Kind of like a rude interruption, actually, because I feel like it throws me off a little bit, but then it also throws me back into something different. So 44, universal love, and 13, coherence. I don't know what's going on with these two numbers, but somehow this feels super magical. 13 and 44 next to each other. Maybe they're your numbers. Maybe they mean a lot to you. I don't know. Yeah, I was just trying to ask, like, are you 44? Are a lot of you watching this in your 40s? I actually have the impression that a lot of you watching this are in your 30s, early, mid, late 30s. I don't know. You just have that energy to you, like where you, I feel like you're just so confident in who you are. You're more established. And you're really connected and you have enough wisdom and guidance behind you. I really feel like, yeah, it feels like you're in your 30s. You could also be in your early 40s, so like to 45. Honestly, you didn't choose the wrong pile if you don't fit into those age groups. It's just kind of like energetically, you just feel like that's kind of the century you're in, or the decade you're in, I guess is the proper wording in English. Decade, not century. And then 13, I don't know. I actually feel like that is lucky number 13. That's what I keep getting. 13 feels super lucky for you. It doesn't mean it's lucky for everyone, but like just something about it and its energy with you this year is just super lucky. I don't know. It symbolizes something to you. New starts in something. I feel like the 1 means something, then the 3 means something for you. Okay, anyways, move on. You probably already know it. I don't need to go there. So the frequency of coherence supports our ability to harmonize the frequency of the heart with the frequency of the mind for an optimal ability to create the reality that we desire. Super cool. So I don't know, when I see this new career card and the imagery on this just makes sense with like the theme of the whole reading. Like just see this person in the middle. I see it as you. I see all the chaos around you, but then you see it as water. It's so moldable and adaptable and movable. And then there's you channeling in the highest frequencies, the rays, like whatever you want in life, you feel like you're channeling it in and bringing it into your environment. So I just think this is so cool. The power coming off of this is insane. It's super cool. And the coherence, I feel like this is just even talking about like you're coming at this, what you're channeling in is universal love, and you're just in a frequency of support and harmony with all around you. This is super, super cool. You've done some cool things in your life. I just know that. It just comes off of your energy, like this wisdom and this neatness. And I do feel like a little bit of quirkiness from this pile, but it's just like the most cute and wonderful amount of quirky that like it keeps coming back to. Like it really is like people admire you for it. And I wonder if at some point in your life it was something you were like worried about or in judgment around yourself around, but I don't think you are anymore. And it's just so funny because it's like me looking as the outsider in, I see that people really have always loved this quirkiness, this weirdness. They love it. They love it. Like I just can't say that enough. They love it about you. It's like, it makes people giggle. It makes people laugh. It makes people like just feel safe even and comfortable around you. Like this is actually your greatest strength, is being your authentic self. Super cool. I wonder if some of you have a bit of a lisp, or like you can't quite enunciate some words. That's what I don't know, it's a little bit random, but I almost get that. And I wonder if that's part of the quirkiness that you've not loved about yourself, is having a bit of a challenge with words. Some of you might have been born deaf or be deaf, and that could be why, which is a little bit random to mention, but I'm getting that for somebody here, where I feel like that's where like the shame came from, is like feeling like you sound silly or something like that. But no, I don't get that at all. Like people do just love you. I feel like people think you're just so sweet, and although you're probably older than some of these people, maybe you're younger, I can't really tell, but it's just like people always treat you like this wise, cute person. So they do respect what you have to say, and they do like really look up to you, but they also have this like really like childlike love for you. Like it's like you I think you activate something in their heart center, like that just they haven't experienced in their adulthood very often. Like it's really powerful. It's really healing, just what you bring out in people. Empowerment and remembrance. So we want to talk a little bit about this card because it says the frequency of empowerment supports our ability to show up fully and completely, uniting us with others in the deep trust that we all are connected through the same source. Super cool. So I wonder if this is what you're in right now. So I kind of feel like this is what you're bringing to this work you're doing right now, to these retreats, to these meditations. Because if you're all about this, then that usually means your work's going to be all about this. Remembering, I think you're trying to teach people to remember their own authority and power. I wonder if you do some Akashic record stuff or some past life stuff. I'm getting a pretty strong pull towards the remembrance around you helping people remember their power, remember their higher self, like their soul is expansive. Like I don't know if I'm explaining all this in as broad and big of words as I can, to really get this point across about how cool this is and how powerful of a teaching you're bringing in. And you just holding that in your energy brings it into people's energy. So that's super cool. And yeah, the empowerment, I so love this. Just awesome. Super awesome. So I'm just going to kind of take a second here and be like, okay, if you came to this reading for health check-in, I'm a little thrown off by why I'm not getting anything health-based, but I'm actually just getting like, you go person. I want to say you go girl, but you might not be a girl. So you go man, you go girl, you go, I don't know, what's a more universal word for that? You go, yeah. I guess I don't need to say any word after that. But I feel like you're doing such awesome stuff. So I wonder if there's just a part of you that's just stumbled on this reading, you're like, oh, this is a different topic, like maybe I'll just check it out, and then it's actually like, no, just kidding, you actually have like a different message you needed to hear, but this is how they're getting it to you. Yeah, or maybe you've been concerned about like travel and health and stuff. But I just see so much support. I don't see anything for you to worry about. That's what's crazy. I mean, I feel there's no need for worry. There's only like coherence, synchronicities, abundance, being on the right place at the right time. I have no worries for this pile. I actually feel like it's nice to read it. It's so lighthearted, it's so upbringing. You think this is just your energy though? You're just like this beautiful wild soul, like riding the back of a deer, because that's just weird. And of course, that just also makes sense for you, and lighting up the path for other people and making it easier for other people to remember their true divinity within themselves and their empowerment within themselves. It's super cool. You're a super cool person. Just seriously, just take that compliment and really feel that. You're so cool. Yeah. And I do wonder if anything, there is just like this little bit of self-doubt around the way you sound. So maybe you're even going to a country where the people going there, you're speaking a second language and you feel like you might sound funny or have a funny accent. I wouldn't even worry about that. That is like, it comes up as your own personal fear, but everything you're emitting is like, it's almost like laughable. Like, it's like, what? Why would that even matter? And I know it's easier said by someone who isn't living with that fear, but it's just like, it's not even like even going to affect any of your results. It's not going to affect anything. It just is affecting maybe your own confidence in yourself. Because there's no worry about it here. No worries. I have nothing worrying about your ability to communicate. It's just actually saying like you communicate so much through your own energy and frequency you're emitting. Don't doubt your beautiful power of your voice. There's nothing wrong with the way you speak or the way you're going to speak to these people. You've got this. People love you. They love, love, love you, and they really love your uniqueness. Okay, I know this is pretty short, but I think this is all I have for you. Like, it's just like, if you felt like this was too many compliments, then also maybe that's why you need to hear it, because I feel like everyone's just saying, you're so awesome. Please hear it. Take it. Love it. Yeah. I don't know. But we'll clear the energy just in case there's anything you'd like to release, anything you want to ground in, anything you want to, do with this. You set that intention. And I'll just leave it up to you that it's all in your highest good and love and light. Okay, well, thank you for hanging in there and watching this reading, and I hope you just have a wonderful day. You keep doing like awesome stuff you're doing in these super cool retreats or meditations or workshops that you're doing. They just seem like they are so profound, whether people are giving you that feedback or not. I just feel like you're so on the right track. You're so on the right page. And I think you're just going to keep finding more and more people who are wanting your services as the more people hear about you. Yeah, It's super cool, and your uniqueness really is what drives people to be so attracted to you. So don't lose that. Don't get rid of that. That is exactly what people are looking for. So I hope this helped in some way, and some confirmations that you were needing, and maybe I'll catch you around in another pick a card reading. All right.